Alright, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Today, I figured I would make an attempt at showing you guys how to fight the Gatekeeper. Now, the Gatekeeper here, his hut is always right here on the map. It's pretty close to your house. However, of course, you have to get the map for his hut before you will see him or see his location pop up here. You can get that map at events and tier 3 zones. I believe you can get it in any chest. I think I found mine in a night cache, just because if I'm going to go to tier 3, I might as well go at night to see if I can get a night cache. But anyways, once you get there, the Gatekeeper is, he's, he's pretty, large, and, he's pretty brutal to fight, the first time. Now, I'm gonna show you the way to do it cheaply. And I mean that in many ways, because it's kind of a cheap tactic to use. Some of you are probably familiar with it, but we're gonna do this the easy way, and we're gonna kite the Gatekeeper around a pillar, so that if we do this correctly, he will never hit us. He will never touch us. And because of that, the only things that I need to bring are some tier 1 armor, just so that the wolves that spawn constantly, so that they don't, just annihilate my health. And we're going to use Cartthills on the Gatekeeper itself, and we're going to use the one-handed swords to deal with the wolves. Now, since the Gatekeeper shouldn't actually be hitting us a whole lot, we don't really need any healing on our quick slots, so hopefully that goes as planned. Hopefully I don't get a crap load of lag doing this because I'm recording. So, the only thing I want to say before we hop in there is that the plague wolves that show up, they're actually really annoying, because I went in there, I think the second or third time. I was like, okay, well, they're just wolves or whatever. So the perfect weapon to use against them would be like the spiked mace. It does 26 damage, and wolves generally only have 50. So I tried that on them, and unfortunately, no. They have an annoying amount of health. That's not to say they have a large amount, but they have 55 health, which means you can't two-shot them with a spiked mace, which is really annoying. So one-handed sword is my go-to for them. Now, the plagued wolves, they spawn in sets of 2, and unfortunately they will spawn infinitely. They will continue to spawn for however long the Gatekeeper is alive. So our goal, in addition to not being hit by the Gatekeeper and trying to do this as cheaply as possible, is to try and kill him as quickly as possible. Now, the plague wolves, they spawn once every 17 seconds, so that doesn't leave a lot of time to do a whole lot of damage in between those waves, but you can do a significant amount. So we're going to deal with a number of wolves, but hopefully this will work out well. So just again, this is what I bring. Generally I don't need more than 1 stack of jerky, but I bring the berry juice because jerky dehydrates you, so I want something to hydrate me, So yeah, we're just going to hop in here, and I'm going to show you the basic strategy. The first thing we want to do when we get in here is we're going to get around, and there's a little bone pile on the ground that I use as a land marker to signify when you have to start sneaking. You'll see it here once we load in. So just go around these little skeletons, and here's the bone pile. Start sneaking right about there. Get a hit on the Gatekeeper here. And the Cartfill has a range of 2, so it has more range than the Gatekeeper does. Now, obviously, we're using these spikes to do, or the stakes to do some kind of chip damage on him. They're not going to do a tremendous amount, but I don't want to have to run into them myself during the course of this fight and just take damage for no reason. That's the only reason why I really want him to destroy them, because otherwise I could use them to, potentially do some damage to the wolves, but So we already passed through the pillars. Oops, got a little too close in there. pass by the pillars that we want to kite him around. They are these pillars right here. Now, this one on the right is potentially the easiest one, because it doesn't have any, like, hidden... Like, this one on the left, you can see it's got a little bit of, like, brick attached to it. Ow. Okay, yeah, I did that wrong. My bad. But it's got a little bit of brick attached to it, so it makes it a little bit odd to kite him around. Which is why I think most people would prefer to do it on the pillar on the right here, but either one works. And yeah, as you can see, you're just gonna, well, if I can stop screwing up. But you're basically just gonna, you know, wail away on him without him being able to do a damn thing to you. And you just get him to keep switching sides. That's pretty much the extent of it. I mean, you just have to be very, very careful and actually, you know, not stutter step before the attack animation actually finishes and you get some damage. Yeah, I find this right pillar a little bit easier as well, but, you know, I'm not going to waste too much time trying to get him over to it every single time. Go ahead and use that to get our hydration up. Now, unfortunately, you have to be careful because at one point, that cartwheel is going to break, and then if you're spamming the attack button like I tend to do, well, you're going to rush at him with a one-handed sword, and with Tier 1 armor, that's not a good idea. See if I can get him around this pillar this time. Yeah. And I messed up. Now, the one thing I do want to mention is, because the cartwheel has greater range than he does... Oh, and its sword broke as well. Oh, we're gonna have to do a little... Alright, so I should be good now. But because the cartwheel does have greater range than the Gatekeeper itself, you can actually perform kind of hit and run tactics, and you can just hit him and then run away before he can hit you. However, that requires a great deal of timing. You have to know exactly when to stutter step away, and it's hard to do it fast, to get fast consecutive hits on him. Like we are doing here. Well, kind of. Because you really have to watch you know how close he is to being able to hit you. And unfortunately, ooh, yeah, also unfortunately, I had to use too many well, that works all the same. What did we get? We got some alright stuff, but we got a falchion and whatnot, but not amazing loot that time. But the whole point of doing this is so that we can not get hit by the Gatekeeper and do as much damage to him as possible, as quickly as possible. So you're using a cartwheel to kind of hit him and run. While that's still a valid tactic, it takes so long that you're going to end up fighting probably twice as many wolves as I did here. And unfortunately, the wolves don't drop anything. I really wish they would drop leather at least, or their hides, so I could turn them into leather. That would be really fantastic. But yeah, that's pretty much going to conclude this little guide, I guess, about how to fight the Gatekeeper cheaply and efficiently. I didn't do an amazing job at it, but it's should be enough to give you the basic gist. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was informative. And I'll see you on the next video I do, guys. Take care.